you do not have to have your life together by the time you turn 30. I do not know who came up with that, but please take it and get it out of here. I don't even know why society why they put that out there. Why is that? Why? I really think it's outdated. And I feel like back in the day, having your life together by 30 made sense. Like, because I mean, it was normal for women to be popping out babies at like 14. Marie, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Either way, you are appreciated. In this video, I am going to be getting into what 30s have looked like for me so far. Now, honestly, it's been real ghetto and just real eye-opening. I'm learning so much about myself. But before I get into that, I'm gonna give like a little bit of who I am. My name is Indesha Marie, like I just said, and I am 30 years old. I have been 30 for about 5 months now. My birthday was in March. I am a proud Floridian. Okay, and I have been married for almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years next February. I don't know if that's almost. So I've been married for 7.5 years. And I have 2 little boys, Levi and Luca, who are 4 and 2.5. I used to be in the military. I got out of the military medically due to me due to an incident that took a majority of my hearing. So I have a hearing aid. I'm supposed to wear them in both ears, but I don't. They can be painful, kind of, sort of. And I guess that's it. Oh no, I am a nail tech. I actually just started my nail tech journey, and I actually did vlogs about that. It was like my first few 7 or 8 videos, something like that, are me being in nail school and working at a nail salon. What else? So that's what my channel is basically about. It's about lifestyle, so doing like vlogs and like showing my life as I'm in the nail tech and on this like healing journey, and then doing nail content like nail hauls and nail videos, like watch me work videos, and then videos like this. I think I covered it all, so I want to get into it. That was a little bit about me, and the reason I wanted to do this video is because literally on my 30th birthday, I had a panic attack, and it was the most scariest thing that I can think of that I went through. Like, even childbirth wasn't that scary. Like, I literally thought I was gonna die. My heart was beating intensely fast. Like, it was so scary. Like, for weeks my body was like, I don't know, like I was traumatized by it. Like, I was scared that it would happen again. That's how bad it was. I was scared that it would happen again. So my panic attack got triggered by a song. And I debated about sharing this because I'm like, oh my goodness, but vulnerability is key around here. So I had a panic attack and I was smoking weed, and I hadn't smoked in a while. I actually saved my last piece of joint, blunt, whatever you want to call it, for my birthday, and I was gonna take a break. That was my what do you call it? My intentions. And yeah, so I guess I got extremely elevated, and it definitely played a part into me having a panic attack. When I talked to my therapist, she was explaining to me that when you drink or smoke or you take any substance that can alter the mind, you kind of like lower the veil and you allow yourself to feel feelings that you may have blocked out. And I was like, oh, well, I think that's what happened. So the song that I was listening to was, I was actually on Instagram scrolling, and it was this post, and it was like some old school pop songs, Avril Lavigne, Kelly Clarkson. I was like, ooh, I used to really be into this. And I used to really be into pop music. The pop girls had me on in a chokehold, okay? So it was Kelly Clarkson, Because of You, that triggered me, because I remember listening to this song as a kid and just feeling really, really sad, because unfortunately I did not have a loving and nurturing mom, and I did not have a dad that was present. Like, he was in my life, but he was definitely a weekend dad. And both of my parents never really slowed down their adult life and like paid attention and was present with me. But since I've been in therapy, I have been able to grow compassion for them, because I am now a parent and I can absolutely understand how juggling adulthood, bills, and all these other things can get in the way of the most precious thing, and that can be a child. And so the song Because of You, if you have not heard it, you listen to it, you know what I'm talking. It's basically talking about a mom who does not pay attention to the daughter, and and I don't know what maybe, okay? So like I mentioned before, I'm hard of hearing. So when I listening to music, I usually read lyrics at the same time. So if you have an iPhone, that it does the lyrics on some songs. And so I was reading the lyrics, and like I said, I had to smoke, so I'm reading them, and it was like the breath got taken out of me, and I was like, what's going on? I'm thinking it's the weed, so I'm like, okay, let me wrap this up. And I go into the house and I try to eat to calm down. I'm like, okay, maybe if I eat, I'll calm down. And so it did not calm down. My heart continuously started beating fast, and I'm like, whew, what's going on? So my husband was asleep on the couch. I'm pointing this way because my couch is literally right there. He was asleep on the couch, and I'm like, babe, I can't breathe, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm about to die. I feel like I'm about to die. I can't breathe. Like, my heart is beating so fast. And at first he was kind of like, nah, you just elevated. And I was like, no, like, I think I need to go to the hospital. Like, I can't breathe, whatever. I laugh now, but that panic attack had me shook, okay? So my husband ended up having to hold me for like an hour, and like I'm crying snot, Viola snot, you feel me? And like he's just like giving me positive affirmations and just like waiting for me to calm down. I think I ended up falling asleep, like laying on top of him. And the next morning, he told me how hard my heart was beating. And I was like, that was just something that had to be one of the scariest things ever seen. I really thought I was going to die. And not only did it come up that my mom and my parents were, paying attention to me, but also it brought up the fact that I did not process the death of someone who was really close to me. So me and my mom, we bounced around for a little bit because she was saving up to buy a house, and she still has that house, and it's almost paid off. So like, she did it. She got us this house, but before then she had to make a lot of sacrifices. So we moved out of our apartment, and we were bouncing around from family member to family member's house. Oh, I'm thinking about it. It makes me want to cry, because like she really got that done. But I always stay with my cousin on my dad's side, but they were the same age or whatever, because my daddy is like 20 years older than my mom. But yeah, we're gonna move on. So we stayed with my cousin, and my cousin, favorite person, and she passed away. She passed away a couple weeks before my baby boy Luca was born. And I didn't let myself feel that pain, because I was like, I'm getting ready to have another baby. I don't have time to sit in my feelings. I have a child on the way, I have a baby on the way, or whatever. And her funeral, I actually gave birth the day after her funeral. And it was probably because I was standing up in heels for however long I was standing up or whatever. And the next morning I went into labor, but also I went into labor after I let myself cry. I woke up the next morning, just, my heart was so heavy, and I let myself finally cry, but I went into labor, so it instantly, my mind shifted. I didn't really give myself time to process that. So that was another thing that song triggered in me. It triggered the fact that I didn't process my cousin's death. And when that song came out, she was giving me that loving and nurturing. Like, she was just showing up for me. She was just very kind to me. And I had this memory of me like giving her attitude and saying, "You're not my mom." And when I think about it, I'm just like, well, why did I say that? Just being a sassy kid, probably feeling some type of way, like, why are you being so nice to me? Like, cause my own mom was not like even showing me this love. And it was just like, and I felt bad. I remember being at school just like, oh my God, why did I say that? But the thing about it is, when I got home from school, she did not hold that against me. She did not, because I had that moment. I wasn't that sassy little girl, you know what I'm saying? I was just a child who was having a moment, you know what I'm saying? That moment wasn't my attitude, and she still welcomed me with loving arms. And that was something I didn't really experience with my mom. Like, if I made a mistake, then I was kind of like that mistake forever. And I guess you could say that was my first dose of unconditional love, and that was something that I didn't recognize when I was a child because I was not receiving it from my parents. But more so my mom, because I spent most of my time with my mom. I did not live with my dad. So while my dad definitely caused me some trauma, most of my trauma definitely resides with my relationship with my mom. So that is what dropped off as soon as I turned 30. And I'm like, okay, so 30s are coming in and trying to take me out. Got it, okay. And things didn't stop happening. Life just really kept on kicking my ass. So a couple weeks after the panic attack, my father-in-law passed unexpectedly, and I just feel like the world does not talk enough about marriage, about when these type of things happen. I was completely unprepared, and I spent a lot of time with my father-in-law before he passed. My husband went on deployment last year, and he was the one who came and looked out for me the most. He watched the boys, cooked breakfast, cooked dinner, take out the trash, mop the floor. He was there for me. And actually, my husband's commission video that I recorded and I posted on my channel was the last time that me and my husband saw him alive. And it was so crazy because it was like literally like here and then gone. It was just like out of nowhere. And airplane, that death hit me really hard. But I also realized one of the reasons I probably did not process my cousin's death is because I did not view her body. I was very much pregnant, and I was like, if I view her body, I'm going to turn this funeral into a labor story. And so I was like, no. And my family, like, ugh, like I didn't even want to deal with that. Like, I know they would have been negative towards me because I'm an outcast for real on both sides of my family. So it just is what it is. And so I did not view her body, and I was really anxious about viewing my father-in-law's body, but I did it, and I really think that helped me process. But that was really, really hard. Like, it just, like, after me having a panic attack and losing my father-in-law and having to support my husband in a way while I'm still kind of like in my emotions, you know what I'm saying? And this is where I grew compassion for my parents, because like, look how much adult life was going on, how much stuff me and my husband had to handle. But at the same time, we still gotta be parents. Like, we can't just check out. But I can understand why some parents completely check out. Like, life be like just too much. So that is what my 30s have looked like. It's just been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of growth. I've been in therapy for about a year and a half. I started therapy because I wanted to be a better mom, because I felt like I was going down a road that I didn't want to be. Like, I was yelling, and that's not something I want to do. Like, yelling, hitting, that's not my vibe or whatever. Well, I didn't hit my kids, but I definitely was yelling at my oldest son. Like, I was losing my patience, and I was just like, this is familiar. This reminds, like, I feel like I was acting like my mom, and I was like, okay, time to take a step back and do something. I don't know what exactly triggered me, what moment for me to get into therapy, but I've been in therapy for a year and a half or something like that. And my first therapist is just like a typical therapist where I've been and be vulnerable, blah, blah, blah. But since I moved to Virginia, since February, I have an EMDR therapist, and EMDR has absolutely changed my life. Like, I have processed so much trauma from February to now. Like, me sitting in front of this camera and chitting and chatting is the growth that you're seeing, and it's crazy. Like, I recommend it so much. Basically, what it does is take your brain and make it process negative things in a different way, or things that happened to you in your past in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always worthy of love. I deserve unconditional love, and just like things like that. Like, man, you are worthy, you are enough, and basically rewiring your brain to believe these things, because you can say I'm worthy, but if your brain has not like did some work, like you did some inner work, you did some processing, then all you're doing is talking. And so I definitely recommend it. It has helped me like tremendously. Like, I cannot, like, the growth that I have seen in myself has been crazy. Like, I'm literally ready to take on the world after being so depressed because losing my hearing after I got out of the military, and just really dealing with anxiety and social anxiety. And now I'm out here posting videos on YouTube. Yesterday I was out with it with my camera. Like, the girl who has social anxiety out here in the streets with a camera, I guess. Like, so it's crazy to me, and I really wish I started this sooner, because I would have had better 20s, because 20s I just spent being depressed, anxious, worried about the future, not being insecure, not being authentic, not being my true self at my core, not in every situation. Like, to be authentic is to be authentic in every situation, not just with certain people or in certain situations. And so I did not do that in my 20s. I got some notes. I don't want to get off track. So one thing I wish I knew, well, one of the first things that I wish I knew in my 20s was that you do not have to have your life together by the time you turn 30. I do not know who came up with that, but please take it and get it out of here. I don't even know why society why they put that out there. Why is that? Why? I really think it's outdated. And I feel like back in the day, having your life together by 30 made sense. Like, because I mean, it was normal for women to be popping out babies at like 14. So yeah, you might, if you became an adult earlier, then yeah, I guess, but still, they shouldn't, no. Me and my therapist had a conversation about, by the time you turn 30, you have only been an adult for 12 years, but you spent 18 years as a child. So only get 12 years? Like, what are we saying? So that is something that I wish I knew. Like, you don't need to be married by 30. You don't need to be having no kids. You don't need to be buying no house. Now, granted, I did all of those things, but my mental was all messed up. So society said, get this, get this, get that. I did it. And I still felt like I was missing something. Like something wasn't inside, I didn't feel fulfilled. And so, point blank period, you do not have to have your life together by 30. Like, please take that and put it in the trash. Like that 40 is a little bit more realistic. Okay? Because please. Like I get really mad thinking about that, because who came up with that? So, second is being vulnerable and being authentic. I wish that I knew that being myself would free me from being anxious and stuff like that, really bad anxiety. And being myself unapologetically, just black, whatever, but also being vulnerable and sharing my experience, like what I'm doing now. It is probably the most important thing that I have to say, is to be authentic and be vulnerable. Me and my best friend just went through a situation where we realized we had some unprocessed trauma with our first loves. And we ended up having a conversation with them and realizing, like, oh my God, I have been having this trauma in my body for so long. And because we were vulnerable enough to share with each other what was in our brain, so much healing has happened in our relationship. Our relationship has grown, our friendship has grown, and also the relationship with our husbands has grown, because we were vulnerable about how this first love caused so much trauma, and it made me feel like this and it made me feel like that. Being vulnerable and being authentic is a superpower. If you are a crybaby, cry if you want to. If you are loud, be loud if you want to. Like, don't let anyone stop you from being who you want to be, and don't let anyone stop you from sharing your experience. Like, no. Third, take time to reflect. Oh my God, the airplanes. Like, they really popping. Like, I guess they're busy today. I do live near a naval base. But third, take time to reflect. The world just keeps on going and going and going and going, like the Energizer Bunny. I don't know if you remember that commercial, if you're old enough to remember that commercial, okay? But we need to, hold on, my leg is going on. Oh, geez. Take time to reflect. Like, I wish that I knew the power of journaling a long time ago, because recently I just went back in my journal and read what I said I needed to be successful. And I was like, okay, well, I got that now, so what are you doing? And I was like, ooh, it made me hold myself accountable in a sense. Like, you said you needed this and you're not doing it. What's up? And I was like, oh, well, I should probably start doing that. And you can't grow if you don't reflect. Like, life can be so busy. I mean, having kids or starting a career, just getting out of high school, graduating college, starting college. I mean, there's so many things that happen between 18 and 30 that I can understand why you may not have time to reflect. But it is so essential, because I realized that my dating life before I got married, I was looking for love that I didn't receive from my parents and the dudes that I were dating. And I never took time to realize why didn't I date you? Why am I here? Like, I don't even like you for real. I did spend a year being celibate, but I honestly wish that I would have spent that year of celibacy. I wish that I did more, like journaling and just really getting to know myself. And if you do not self-reflect, then you don't really get to know you. Like, you really have to slow down, reflect, and realize, why did I do that? Why did I do this? What situation that caused me what trauma caused me to do such a thing? Why did I act like that? Why did I do this? And really sit back and think about it and like really reflect. So reflection is definitely something I wish I did in my 20s. Wish I, like at the end of the year, my birthday or whatever, mark, and also journaling. I wish that I did that as well, because now that I've done it, I'm like, why did I do that? And then why did I do it again? And what was you doing? So definitely reflect. And fourth thing, realizing my worth, and realizing my worth is not tied to things. It's really tied to me showing up and being my authentic self, doing what I said I'm going to do or whatever, but also giving myself grace and not being so wrapped up in what society says is a happy life. Because no matter what you achieve or what you don't achieve, what you don't finish, or what, none of that stuff matters, because you're still worthy of love, you're worthy of friendship, you are worthy of anything in life that you desire. Now, granted, you do gotta do some stuff to get some of these things, but you're worthy of it. Like, you don't have to be a master at something. I really had to tell myself that in my nail tech career. Like, I don't have to be a master of something. You are still worthy of the opportunity to put yourself out there and see how it goes, but you gotta do it. And knowing your worth just makes you move so much differently in this world. And I wish that I was taught I was worthy. That's a big thing. If you're not taught that you're worthy of whatever, then you don't know. Like, you don't know. And so I wish I was taught my worth, and I wish I recognized my worth in my 20s, because that would have stopped me from doing a lot of things, like a lot. Okay, lastly, opinions. Opinions are just that, opinions. Opinions are not facts. What people have to say about you, what people think about you, how they perceive you, their experience of you, whatever, that's not your business. Like, it's literally irrelevant. And I feel like I spent so much time worrying about what people thought of me and the things that I was doing, especially after I got out of the military. I felt like I had to do something. And now I realize I should just sat my ass down and reflect and figure out who I was so I could get here faster, because now I know. Now I know what's up. So, opinions, they are not facts. Matter of fact, your thoughts are also not facts, because you can have so many thoughts and opinions in your brain. And because, the brain processes like 60,000 thoughts in a day. That's a lot. And opinions mean nothing. Like, you can value someone's opinion, but at the end of the day, it's how you feel. Your opinion. What's your opinion? Like, what do you think at the end of the day? And I just feel like, being authentic and knowing your worth, these things kind of help you block out opinions. And so, yeah. But yeah, opinions are not facts, and you don't need to worry about them. If the opinion is an opinion that, can dictate certain things about your life, and take that, reflect, and go about it in an authentic way to fix or whatever you got to do. But still, at the end of the day, it's still someone's opinion and their perception and their experience that they have with you. If you do desire to change that, that's up to you, but you don't have to do that for everybody, because everybody's opinion is not worth a damn. Like, what? And I just, Lord, I have so many adults projecting their opinions on me, their thoughts on me, you know what I'm saying? Or like, the big thing when I was growing up, people would tell me, oh, you think you're better, you think you're this, and it's just like, what? And now I know that first of all, I should have been protected by an adult. That's number one. And also my mind should have been built up for me to block out other people's opinions. That's number two. But I realize now that I had a lot of adults projecting their insecurities on me, their opinions, their thoughts, and it's just like, whew, if only I was capable of blocking all of that out. But I was a child, so I should have been protected. So yeah, opinions are not facts. They ain't your business. They're irrelevant unless you want them to be. But everybody's opinion, everybody's thoughts, no, you don't have to worry about that. Get it out of your brain because it's taking up too much space in your brain. Like, just throw it away. So that is everything. I guess I'll do a run through. You go back through. So you do not have to have your life together at 30, period. You do not. And being vulnerable and being authentic is a superpower. Superpower. Cry if you want to. Like, I don't know why people make it seem like crying is a weak thing to do when it's literally your body's natural response of getting out. Like, I need to get this out of me. Like, people saying, like, I haven't cried since. What? Baby, I cried the other day. Matter of fact, not only did I cry the other day, I cried multiple times. Like, I'm a crier. But that's just me. Take time to reflect, because if you don't take time to reflect, you can find yourself in situations repeating them over and over again. You are worthy. You are worthy of, I don't want to say materialistic things. You are worthy of safe spaces. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of unconditional love, because unconditional love is that's that stuff. You are worthy. You're worthy. Lastly, folks, opinions are just that. They are opinions. They aren't facts. So you can just literally, like, one ear out the other. I mean, honestly, with me being hard of hearing, I don't be hearing what people got to say anyway. So send it to me in a text, and I'm gonna delete it. Like, for real. People's opinions are just that. They are just facts. And I hope this video was helpful. I turned off my fan to do it so it wouldn't be, because my fan is so loud. I'm so hot right now. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, my channel is about, lifestyle content, showing vlogs as I continue this healing journey that, put me in a position or encouraged me, inspired me to do this video, and also nail content, because I am a nail tech and I'm about to start getting back in these streets next month. So wish me luck. But that is it. And definitely like, comment, subscribe, and do all that stuff that you're supposed to do to support a YouTuber. And thank you so much for watching.